In the previous episode, we explored some of the must-see sites in Verona, the romantic city where the story of Romeo and Juliet took place. After sorting out some last-minute changes due to flight disruption, my anxiety level returned to normal and I was no longer in a hurry to sleep early. Because my first thing in the morning flight the next day is now an afternoon flight, despite leaving from a different airport that's 100 kilometers away. With a peace of mind, I began to soak myself into the night scenes of Verona as I made my way back to the accommodation. I always thought Verona was the perfect city for getting over jet lag. Who knew that was also the perfect city for ending a great trip in the Veneto region?
Alright, good morning everyone. Yeah, last night was a really hot night and I was able to wash my shirt and it actually dried overnight. I'm just on my way to the lookout point, which is not far from where I'm staying. Then we're gonna take one last look of this beautiful city.
Remember that I mentioned in a previous episode that Castel San Pietro has something extraordinary hidden in sight? Well, it's time we take a closer look.
It does appear that Verona actually has two arenas. So one apparently was the one in downtown, and there's actually another one and just hidden in sight. And it's at the base of the lookout point. And I was thinking that this structure from far away kind of looks familiar. Kind of reminded me of the Roman Amphitheatre in Lyon. So looks like indeed it is one of them, but it's not really in a great shape like the one in the city center. But based on what I see, there might still be performances being performed here. I'm so glad I decided to take this early morning walk and discover something that, well, I wasn't able to discover in the past 2 days.
Going back to the top of Castel San Pietro, I got to appreciate Verona for one last time. Looking at the skyline of the historic city center that barely changed since a very long time ago. Not every glorious city has this kind of luxury of being well preserved. Luckily, I was able to visit quite a few of them in this Veneto Adventure.
And I guess that's it. This concludes our trip to the city of Verona and also our adventures in Veneto.
Before leaving Verona for good, I decided to bid farewell to some of this city's top attractions. And of course, before we do that, let's grab a cappuccino and a nice pastry for our final breakfast.
Arrivederci, Verona. Arrivederci, Giulietta.
Through this Veneto adventure, I learned about the history that schools in many parts of the world never taught, yet is instrumental in forging what the world is today. I was able to see the stunning and timely cities of the region that were created by the historical Republic of Venice's domination of the Mediterranean Sea. Through their willingness to embrace cultures and religions that were different from their own, as well as not so glorious acts of backstabbing and greed that kind of also set up its eventual downfall. To me, this adventure was like an experiment of slow traveling, which I found to be ideal and will probably continue to do so in the future when I discover other regions of Italy. It's quality over quantity. I realized that there are still way more to discover and experience in Veneto. But this time, I'm hitting the pause button for now. Maybe we'll come back one day. But hey, Marco Polo didn't stay in Venice forever. Instead, he moved on to elsewhere, and that experience inspired a whole new generation of world explorers that also changed the world history. It's our turn now. So, andiamo! Where are we heading next? It actually has something to do with one of those folks from Venice who was inspired by Marco Polo. On an old Venetian map, someone marked a spot that sounds almost mythical. A mountain and a river that are full of silver. Guess what? That's where our next adventure will be. Upon arriving there, I realized that this place was not all that strange at all. The first impression was actually very familiar to me. It even made me think, wait, did we do a series on this place already?